Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about behavior in workshops. And yes, I'm very much aware that workshops may not be in the near future for any of you, but bear with me. It's a lesson that you can apply to daily life to some degree. When you go into any kind of physical workshop, be it a tantric workshop or any kind of body work that requires touching the other participants, what happens, and that is especially true in a full male group, is that we instinctively group the other participants into particular categories, meaning I'd love to get it on with him and I don't want to be paired up with that one, and a lot of meh in the middle. This is how you would behave in normal life, right? This is what you do when you go to a bar or to any kind of gathering. You pick the ones that you fancy and you kind of disregard the other ones. And that is the mindset with which most people go into a workshop, right? Prove me wrong. Now, I would like to posit a different position. When you go into a workshop that requires physical touch, what happens very often in the beginning is that the teacher points out that particular fact. I know you fancy some and you don't fancy others, and you may be paired up with people you don't necessarily want to get it on with. But when you go into a workshop, there's a difference. A workshop is meant to be a place where you learn certain behaviors, certain techniques, and you then apply them to real life outside the workshop. That doesn't mean that within the workshop you only work with people you would like to get it on with, but you can use anyone to try those practices, and you can have anyone to try those practices on you because there's no further engagement with that person. Whatever you think of your partner doesn't matter, because yes, there is a chance that you'll meet up afterwards, but during the workshop, all the people you work with can potentially bring something to the table that you didn't know and that you enjoy. And the guy with the pot belly may have specific abilities and techniques that drive you mad, whereas the hot-looking tall guy with the tattoos has no sense of touch whatsoever. That doesn't mean that you don't fancy him or that you wouldn't end up in bed with him later that day. But for the purposes of the workshop, it doesn't matter if you fancy the other person, because it's about learning, about giving and receiving. And if you keep those two separate, you'll be all the better for it. I'm sure you're aware that whenever you meet new people, you make a split-second decision if you like them or not, if they rub you the wrong way. Maybe that sense of being in a workshop environment could be extended to that situation. I'm not dismissing that first instinct and that split-second identification of particular likes and dislikes. But maybe there is something to be said for keeping an open mind after that split second and engaging with that person and then making a more cerebral decision, not one that's based on your initial emotional reaction, but one that is tempered by having engaged with that person on a different level and then taking it forward. That doesn't mean you have to change your mind every single time, but maybe give them a chance. Let's see how this works for you. Just keep it in mind next time you meet somebody and try and give them a chance beyond the initial idea that you get of them. If that speaks to you, or if you have experiences that you want to share, please leave a comment below and come back next time for more.